All right, let's talk about something truly incredible, the International Space Station. We're coming up on a massive milestone, 25 years of people living and working in orbit. For a quarter of a century, it's been our one and only home among the stars. So let's dive into why this is such a huge deal. 25 years. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. A full quarter of a century. That is how long we, as a species, have had someone, somewhere, living off the planet without a single break. For every single day, every hour, every minute since the year 2000, somebody has been up there, looking down. So where did it all start? Well, you have to go all the way back to November of 2000. That's when the very first crew, Expedition 1, floated through that hatch for the first time, flipped the switches, and brought the whole thing to life. And now, here we are, about to hit that same month in 2025, marking an entire generation of nonstop human life in space. Okay, so the station is this amazing piece of engineering, right? But it's so much more than that. It's not just hardware. It's a real human outpost, a global village orbiting the Earth. So who are these pioneers? Who are the people who've actually called this place home? And get this, it's a way bigger number than you might think. We're talking more than 290 people have visited the ISS. To put that into perspective for you, that's more people than the entire Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo programs put together, all of them sharing that same unbelievable view of our planet. And you know what's really amazing? This isn't just one country's story, not even close. We're talking about folks from 26 different countries who have lived and worked on that station. Think about that. It's this incredible symbol of partnership, floating above all the noise and tension we sometimes have down here on Earth. Yeah, and that's not just hyperbole, that's a fact. In a time when it feels like everything is so divided, the ISS it's this shining example of what we can pull off when we decide to team up. It's probably one of the most successful international projects in the history of science, period. All right, so we've covered the who and the how long, but that leaves the really big question, right? The why. Why go to all this trouble in the first place? What's the whole point of having a permanent home in space? So really, what is its main job? Because it's not just about seeing if we can survive up there. No, the ISS, it's a lab, a world-class, one-of-a-kind laboratory, unlike anything we could ever build on the ground. And the secret ingredient, the thing that makes this lab so special, is something called microgravity. You know, it's that feeling of weightlessness where you see astronauts just floating around. By basically taking gravity out of the equation, scientists can do stuff that's literally impossible to do down here. And the kind of research they're doing up there, it's all over the map. You've got biology, trying to figure out how life itself handles being in space. You've got physics experiments that are just mind-bending. And they're also looking back at us, making these crucial observations of our own planet. They're even creating brand new materials, things you just can't make when gravity's constantly pulling everything down. And here's the really important part for all of us. The thousands of experiments they've run, they're not just for the benefit of future space travelers. No way. They have led to real discoveries that help us right here on Earth. We're talking everything from new medicines to better ways to purify water, tech we use every single day. So when you take a step back and look at these 25 years, what's the legacy? What does it all add up to? Why does this one little outpost, circling silently over our heads, matters so much for our future? You know, one source put it in a way I think is just perfect. It called the ISS the backbone of crewed spaceflight and scientific research. The backbone. That's powerful. It's not just another project. It's the core, the central support for everything we're doing in space and everything we're dreaming of doing next. And you can really break that legacy down into three main ideas, three big pillars. First, it's a model for how to work together. It proved that different countries can tackle these huge, complicated projects for decades. Second, it's a powerhouse of discovery, spinning off science that makes life better right here. And third, and this is the one that gets me really excited, it's our launching pad. It's our stepping stone to everywhere else. And that last point, that stepping stone idea, is just so critical. Everything we've learned up there, how to build the tech, how to make these big international partnerships actually work, and just figuring out how our bodies can even handle being in space for a long time, all of that, that is the literal blueprint for going back to the moon and, yeah, for taking those first steps on Mars. So here's the bottom line. After 25 years, the ISS answered one of the biggest questions we had. Can we actually do this? Can we live and work in space long term? And the answer is a resounding yes. It proved the whole concept works. So now that just leaves us with the next, even bigger question. Okay, where do we go from here?